Hi everyone, it's your girl Clenam and welcome to Clenam Spot. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're back to my channel, welcome back. On today's menu we have RAGÚ bolognese, and RAGÚ is a French term that just means anything prepared with meat cut into small pieces. Mais oui, it's that simple. Come with me and let me take you through the process of preparing one of the best ragouts you've ever tasted, because believe me, it tastes like poetry. And if you've not subscribed to my channel yet, remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share my videos. So let's get it started.
So we have our onions, celery and carrots, minced beef, some pancetta, which is basically bacon, and then we have some chicken broth, nutmeg, a glass of wine, a liter of full fat milk, salt to taste, and tomato puree. So let's get it started. So we are going to start by boiling the milk, and I'm going to tell you the reason why in a second. So while the milk is on fire, we can start chopping our vegetables and the pancetta. And I'm going to start with the pancetta, which is, as I said, basically bacon without any sort of spices. And I'm using bacon because originally RAGÚ is made with, it has to be made with pork meat and beef. And I chose this type of pork meat because it's very fat, and I'm going to use the fat of the pancetta to fry and cook the whole thing. So this is going to mean no oil and no butter. And yeah, after chopping, this is more or less what you're supposed to get. Let's not forget about our milk. So I'm going to check on it. And the reason why I boil the milk is because I'm going to need this cream that forms on top of it. And I'm going to wait for a while and then do the same thing once more. So back to our vegetables. As I said, I'm going to cut the carrots, the celery, and the onions. And I'm going to use this to fry the meat. So it is very important when cooking RAGÚ to use 1 part of pot meat and 1 part of beef. This is because the pork meat actually brings the smooth and velvety vibe to the whole thing. Because if you use only beef, then you're gonna get like a very dry RAGÚ, and you don't want that. And another very important step is the use of wine. You can use white, you can use red. I don't think that it makes that much of a big difference, because even the big Italian chef do not agree on what type of wine one is supposed to use. So I'm gonna go back to my milk and then take off another layer of the cream. And then now we can start with the step 3. So as I said, I'm not going to use any sort of oil or butter, so I'm just going to fry my chopped pancetta on a high heat. And then I'm going to wait for it to be caramelized, and you're going to notice that it's going to release the fat from the meat. And I'm going to use the fat of the pancetta to just, cook everything. I told you so. So as you can see, it has released the fat, and I think this is enough oil, and there is no need to add butter or olive oil or anything of that kind. So at this point, we're going to add our verdure tritate, which is the chopped vegetables. And after we've stirred, and after about, I think, 8 minutes, as you can see, it's well fried, and the vegetables are going to be infused with the aroma of the pancetta. And at this point, we can add our minced beef, and then just continue to stir until the beef is well cooked. Signore e signori, attenzione prego. So it's very important for you to wait till your liquid is well absorbed before you add your wine. in order for the meat to release its juiciness, making a ragu more tasty. So as I said, red or white, the most important thing is that your wine is dry. Oh my god, that sounds like a rhyme, right? Huh. I can even be a rapper. Lol. So after your wine evaporates, you're going to add your tomatoes. So apparently the original recipe of ragu bolognese was never meant to be with tomatoes. This was added years later, I think in like the 1800s or so. So at this point, we're going to add our brodo di pollo, which is chicken broth. We're going to need a lot of patience, so you can drink some wine, read some book, I don't know, do something else, because we have to cook for an hour, remembering to stir every now and then, and also leaving a little escape for the vapor. And after an hour of that, we are going to add our milk. This is very important because we're going to balance the acidity of the tomatoes. So by adding the milk, we are going to get rid of that. I'm gonna close this and cook it for 10 to 15 minutes. And guess what? I'm gonna add more latte, people. This is because it brings some sort of silky and sexy vibe to the whole ragu situation. And I use about a half liter of milk. And the first time I used about 250 milliliters, and the second round I did more or less the same thing. I'm gonna let it cook for about 20 minutes. So after about an hour and 45 minutes of cooking, yes, ragu takes time. You don't have to rush if you want the real authentic bolognese ragu. So as you can see, it is becoming reality more and more. So at this point, we can add our spices. So I'm gonna add a little bit of noce moscata, which is nutmeg, some white pepper, pepe bianco, and sale quanto basta, which is salt to taste, and nothing else. So now I'm just going to be stirring and stirring and stirring on a very low heat. And look at that. Oh my god. This is ragu bolognese for you. For you. And not just any recipe. This is a recipe that you can find at the Chamber of Commerce in Bologna. Okay? So, you know, it's a very serious situation here. Yeah, I know. You're hungry and you're smelling the ragu and it smells so good and you just want to eat. So at this point, we just have to add our last touch to it, which is the cream that we got from the milk at the beginning. And this is going to make it more creamy and smooth. And yeah, you're just gonna let that cook for about 10 to 15 minutes and we are done. So your authentic ragu bolognese is ready. So how do you eat your ragu bolognese? I eat it with bread sometimes, which is my first alternative when I'm like lazy and I don't want to cook dinner. I just eat this with bread and a glass of wine and I'm done. Or a classic could be the tagliatelle ragu. As you can see, that is also a good alternative. Or you can prepare your lasagna, and this is coming soon. So if you want to know how I prepared this succulent and inviting and tantalizing lasagna, come back next week and stay tuned.